Hi, and welcome to the Tranquil Cottage Knits podcast. My name is Michelle, and I'm your host. You can find me on Ravelry as Tranquil Cottage, on Instagram as Tranquil Cottage Knits, and you can find the blog at www.tranquilcottageknits.weebly.com. So hi, happy Sunday. I hope your week went well. It seems like everybody is in full swing for Christmas, and we have the Christmas gift along, which I am falling behind on. Don't you love it when it's your own program and you're falling behind? I am podcasting in the craft studio today. With me is George, who is one of my lovely, lovely rescues from the shelter. He spent the first 7 months of his life, he was brought to the shelter when he was 7 months old. He spent the next 7 months in a cage. So he was very happy when we adopted him, and he's my buddy. It's my George. So Oliver may also make an appearance. This is my third attempt at recording, and that is because the first time I just wasn't prepared. The second time, Oliver stole my yarn and ran away with it. Such is life with cats, right? Things have just been kind of going crazy. We didn't really have a weekend this weekend. Everything just kind of, there were so many things to do. And so it just all seemed like it went by in a blur. So I'm going to talk about Saturday in a moment, but right now I'm going to talk about today. Today I attended my nephew's very first birthday, and it was lovely. He's so cute. Oh my goodness, is he cute. And I got to put on the sweater that I knit for him. And I have a little kind of, I don't know what you call it, but a little photo thing that my husband did of me holding him with him wearing his sweater. He was absolutely enamored with all the balloons. It was very cute. Now the sweater, that's the Beach Baby pattern, it fits him, but if he sneezes, he's growing out of that sucker. So the next sweater I knit him, I'm really glad that I got to try it on him, because I wanted to make sure that the sweater I was going to knit him for Christmas would actually fit for a while. And I was a little, when I knit this one, I knit the 1 to 2 year pattern, or I'm sorry, the 1 to 2 year size. But when I was looking at it, I wasn't sure it was going to fit. And then when I got there and looked at him, I thought, yeah, that'll fit. And then when I tried it on him, I'm like, barely. He's just a very tall guy, and he's like his dad. He's very tall. And so he looks adorable in it. He'll look adorable in it for the next week, and then it goes into the pass it on box, or George. The pass it on box, or if his mom decides to keep it, whichever, but he might get one use out of it. Hopefully he'll get a use out of it before it is on to its next incarnation. So that was the Beach Baby pattern, and I loved knitting it. It was wonderful, but I think he needs cables. So that's what I'm on to next. So with the leftovers I had from the Ruby Cashmere Cable Toque that I knit, I am making a hat, kind of almost another incarnation of that pattern, but I'm doing the cables a little different. Obviously, he doesn't have an adult size head, so I've modified the pattern quite a bit. And I also don't have, obviously, as much yarn, so I'm just kind of doing a cable tip that is just not quite as cabley. Technical terms we knitters use, you understand. So it's just not quite as, it doesn't have as many cables running through it as the Ruby Cashmere Cable Toque has. But I think it will be a better fit for his head. Obviously, the original pattern is written for an adult, and when you look at the length of an adult's head, you have a lot more rows that you can work with. And so doing this for him, with his head being so much smaller, I'm having to kind of condense the cables a bit and change the pattern up a bit so that it will actually fit him. However, I'm doing it very stretchy and with 96 stitches, so hopefully it'll fit him all through this winter. That's fingers crossed, because they grow, don't they? He decided today for his first birthday that he was going to start walking. How exciting is that? So I got to actually be there and see him walk a few steps and get to snuggle him. And after we took off his sweater, because he was totally sticky from playing in his cake, I got to give him raspberries on his tummy. So lovely. So that was today, and I had to spend, it's a drive to go there, so I got to spend the time on the drive with my husband, and he drove so I could knit, and it's just lovely. And it was lovely spending time with people I love and spending time with family and getting to see my nephew. So that was today. Back it up to Saturday. Now, Saturday, I worked, and I had dangled a carrot in front of myself to go into work. I was working on a cowl that is a Christmas present, and that person, I think, maybe watches the podcast, so I can't really put it on here, but I needed a skein of this yarn, and I knew one place that had it. I looked online, I couldn't find it, I wasn't sure the colors are going to match. I knew this place still had the dye lot, so I went to Needles in the Haymarket in Virginia, and it was lovely. It was just, Linda was working, and from the time I just walked in the door, obviously she's very welcoming, and the atmosphere is welcoming, and they have a mega ton of yarn, tons of different brands. They have indie dyers, get down. They have indie dyers. I may have to move this, because Oliver is going to be all about getting into the yarn. So they have indie dyers, and they have, brands that you know. I want to say they carry Encore, Cascade, Three Irish Girls, Yarn Rehab, Frabjous Fibers. So they have a lot that I really love, and some that are more functional yarns, some that are just workhorses, and some that cater to the whimsy that we have in all of us, well, most of us knitters, and we love a little whimsy. And I saw some Three Irish Girls that was so hard for me to pass up. It is a deep, rich emerald green and teal together. I did not even get colorway names. Maybe I should have. But the color was just so rich. And of course, I'm texting my friend Becky, Wrapped in Wool, Westerly Whimsy on Ravelry, and Wrapped in Wool from the Wrapped in Wool podcast. And these are the two colorways. And they are not going to show accurate because it's off of my cell. But yes, George, I agree wholeheartedly. There are actually three colors I wanted. There was this really kind of rich coppery brown, and almost like copper. Coppery is a really good rust to copper, with some white, and then it had speckles of teal in it, and then there was the teal with the flash of emerald green. Again, my phone is not showing it well at all. And then there was a white with flecks of copper and teal. And oh my Lanta, I wanted them. I wanted them so much. I don't even think you can see the speckle. Oh, that's better. So, yeah. See if I can find the picture of all. There's the picture of all three of them together. How much gorgeousness is that? And there you can actually see better that not only the speckles, but maybe the green, the emerald flash, and that tealy blue. Oh, so beautiful, and I wanted them so bad. But they were well outside of the budget that I had planned, and I had gone there for yarn for a Christmas present, and I was a good girl. God, it was painful, though. Who needs to make car payments anyway, right? So I left without the yarn that I wanted so badly because, number one, I did not have a project in mind for it. I didn't. I could find something. Absolutely could find something. But I didn't have a project in mind for it right then. And that meant it was going to linger in my stash. And somebody else might miss out on the glory. So I passed. I got the item that I really went there for. And I also managed to pick this up. And I had been wanting this magazine. I am such a fan of the Interweave Knits holiday holiday edition. I am always just such a fan. It's some of the things that are in here, like this guy. Oh my goodness, how cute is he in his bunny slippers? And there's the article on toy safety and construction that he's a part of, and I loved that. And this is the New Growth shawl, and I love that. And let's see, and I fell in love with this pattern. This is by Megan Huber. It is the Wayworn cap, and it just looks thick and warm and luxurious and richly cabled, and so I was just all about that. And there's a couple of shawls in here that I liked, but it's usually wonderful inspiration for me for holiday gifts. And this is the other one I liked. This is the Alcova scarf, and it is a ribbed and decabled pattern scarf with a very handsome gentleman who is modeling it, and I really love this one too. So since I had seen so many things in it that I really liked, I love those editions anyway, because a lot of times it's geared to smaller, more quick gift knitting, accessories, things like that. So I'm a fan, so I went ahead and picked it up because I had been looking at it for now a month and a half, 2 months, and still had not gotten it. So yes, that was exciting. Next up, let's see here. The cats are driving me crazy. Next up is the one thing that I got for me. And it's because I really love the dyer. And I totally just paused that because George found one of my hair bands, and was playing with it, like dragging it all over the place and making a bunch of noise. So the one item that I got for me is from a dyer that I really love. I follow on Instagram and am so often just enamored by the spectacular colors. Spectacular. So this is colorway 420 in Rock Shelter Sock by the amazing Yarn Rehab Meadowcroft Dye Works. And just, I really love this. It's got things I was looking for, not things I was looking for, things that I have found in the other skeins of yarn that I just loved. It's got kind of this teal going on and this kind of rusty and coppery reds, and just, so I really fell in love with this and indulged. Merry Christmas to me. But that was the only thing that I actually got from me. The sweater I'm knitting, planning on knitting for Graham, my nephew, for Christmas, is going to be out of Diamond Luxury Impression, which is this lovely tweed. Let me see. And this is a blend. It's actually alpaca and wool, but it is very soft, and I think is going to be perfect for a little sweater for him. And the plan is to do an antler cardigan. Although I'm thinking I might turn it into a regular sweater. A cardigan will grow with him longer. Hey, George. A cardigan will grow with him longer. However, I just feel like he's more of a sweater guy. So that's what this is going to be. And so I'm excited to get started on that. And I also found these in the clearance bin. And these are dun, 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 Knit 1, Crochet 2, Elfin Tweed. It is a 60% merino, 20% baby llama, 10% bamboo, and 10% Donegal. And I just thought they looked lovely together. The blue has flecks of the kind of taupe color and black and white, and then the taupe color has black and white flecks. So they go really well together, I think. And I think these may be... That's George loving the camera, loving the... George, you're a pain, but not a window pane. So I think these are going to be brioche. I think a brioche hat is in order. So, I think that may be everything, because I can't show that. Oh, and I did get some Barocco Cosma, which is an alpaca wool and silk blend in black, because that is for a Christmas gift for somebody I know that does not watch the podcast. So, but that was it. That was everything that I got on my foray into needles in the Haymarket. But I just have to say, spending time with Linda was wonderful. Spending time just in that element. I posted on Instagram that in the last hour there, I had just more deep to the soul joy. I felt like I could breathe, like I was just so comforted being among all of these crafty possibilities. I often say that I don't have problems frogging knitting that I'm not getting along with, or that maybe it's just a bad combination of a pattern and a yarn. Maybe something's just not working for me. I have no problem frogging things, and I always say the reason for that is because rewinding that into a ball of yarn or a skein of yarn is taking this thing that had such limited potential and returning it to its state of infinite possibilities. It could be a hat, it could be mitts, it could be a noni warmer. If you want to knit something because your nose is cold, I did that last week. It can be a cowl, it can be a dog sweater, it can be whatever it wants to be. And that's one thing I love about knitting, is just the vast creativity and endless possibilities. If you can stretch your imagination, you can come up with anything. And there will be somebody who loves that thing you create. And you create it with intent and purpose and hope for the future. I mean, every stitch is hope for the future, right? Bless you, George. Bless you again. Bless you again. Oh, George has sneezes now. And that's what you get for digging my hair tie out from under a dresser. So, to me, knitting is hope for the future. It is, why are you investing so much of your present time and so much of your energy and creativity in this thing? Once it's done, you do it with the hope or the knowledge that it will go forth out into the universe and have a purpose, that it will keep your loved one warm, safe. Maybe it will stave off the cold or the flu. Maybe it will make them feel loved, wrapped in warmth, wrapped in your hug when you're not there. There's all these things that knitting does that it's just balm for the soul. And I love that. I love that if the hat that I'm knitting for my nephew, I'm doing it with intent. I'm knitting it in cables so that it is thick and warm and beautiful and classic, and I'm knitting it out of a yarn that is a baby camel blend so that I know it is warm. Camel down is warm, so that it will be warm. And we don't have camels just running around here, so it's slightly exotic. My hope that he experiences things that are bigger than his environment, bigger than the world that he's exposed to. No matter how big that world is, I want his world to be even bigger. I want him to be open to experiencing things that are beyond the scope of his existence. And it sounds silly thinking that knitting him a hat is going to do that for him, but that's my hope. It will keep him warm, and when I'm not there, it'll be a hug from me. And it might get left in a cubby overnight, and it might get tossed on the couch. It'll be loved, and it'll be worn, and it'll be well worn, and it'll keep him, warm on the way into the grocery store, and all of these things. And I think of those as I'm knitting it for him, and I'm knitting his future. I'm knitting our relationship. I'm knitting my love for him. It's a little corny, but I think if you knit things for people you love, then that's kind of something that you take for granted as you're making things for them. Hi, Georgie. He's a good kitty. So, I don't know. George looks so dubious. Dubious buddy. Maybe that's just a very, I'd like to say eloquent, but that's not the word, idealistic way of looking at things. But I hope it works. I hope he can feel my love and the hope for the future, and the hope of the dreams that I have for him, the experiences that I hope he gets to have. I hope he can feel that wrapped in my love. Yes, George. So this is why I knit, and this is why I knit for people that I care about. So Christmas is coming, knit faster. So that was yes, George. That was Saturday. Go back to Friday, when I had all sorts of plans. In my head, when I left work on Friday at 10 o'clock at night, I was going, are you done? Done snuggling me? Okay. When I left work at 10 o'clock on Friday night, I had it in my head that I was going to go to bed on Saturday, get up, magically like a whirlwind, clean the house, decorate for Christmas, go off to work, spend some time at work being absolutely productive and valuable, and then I was going to stop at Needles in the Haymarket on the way home. And then I was going to come home and make a fabulous dinner of leftover turkey turned into nutritious and delicious and amazing heartwarming turkey soup. If I did not have a load of clothes to wash right now, I'd be going to work naked tomorrow. The house is not decorated. The house is certainly not clean. But I got some yarn for Christmas presents. One skein that I needed to finish up a gift. I spent some time in an amazing place with amazing people, and Linda, like I said, was absolutely wonderful and heartwarming and just I told her I was so excited. When I walked in there, I said, I am so excited to be here that I could literally just roll around on the floor. I was that happy. Not like I was happy to go shopping. It's not that in the least. And I didn't even really get much. I was just so happy to be in my element with people who understand and people who share my love and my passion for creating. So exciting and so good for my soul. She kept asking, is there anything I do for you? I'm like, nope. I'm just going to sit here. I'm absorbing the vibes, the yarny goodness. That intoxicating smell of wool and vinegar. Oh, I just love it. So it was so wonderful to do. It was. And, so again, the house wasn't clean. The house wasn't decorated. I didn't get laundry done. One load. But my soul was soothed, and I snuggled my nephew and put him in a hand-knit sweater. And I watched him smash his first birthday cake. And I did it all while sitting next to my husband, sharing the day with him. And I saw people I loved, and I got to give them hugs and kisses, and I got accomplished at work. I accomplished things that really needed to be done, and I'm glad I was able to do them. So I didn't get everything done. But I don't know if you've ever read The Bridges of Madison County. I loved that book. Loved that book so much. And my friend Daniel, I had asked him to read the book. And he's like, it's one of your cheesy romance novels. And I said, no, trust me, read this book. And he kept just pushing it off. I bought him a copy of the book. I said, read this. He said no. One day he picked it up, and we were supposed to be going somewhere in an hour. He picked it up, started reading it, and we sat there the whole afternoon because he could not put it down. Still love that book. But the character in there, Robert, says something that I have always taken to heart and loved. He says, the old dreams were good dreams. They didn't work out, but I'm glad I had them. And that's kind of how I feel about cleaning and decorating the house for Christmas this weekend. It was a good dream. Didn't happen, but I had good intentions. So, with that, I hope sometime during the past week you got to spend time doing things you love and with people that you love, because that's really what it's all about. That and cats. Make a lot of noise and bump the underside of your chair. But really, do what you love and do it with those you love. I can't say anything more important than that. So, I guess that's it for this podcast. You know all the spots that you can find me, and you know how to get there to find me. So, I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Cats. Happy Sunday, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.